so few people, especially later in the patch, are playing the game for the game's concerned. It's almost its own little self-inflating ecosystem of just boosters and boosties.
Oh, it's so sad.
So and I like it. That's me completely going like having a vague feeling and running with it. Maybe not necessarily completely connected to reality, but it's a feeling I get whenever I log in and just see no one playing it except for people like selling and buying. Like,
yeah, that does feel pretty rough.
Yeah.
That's obviously something that happens in raiding and PvP. Also happens in Mythic Plus, which is my banging segue to talking about the brutal Mythic Plus nerfs, because it turns out I chose the right patch to start playing Mythic Plus.
Yep.
I sure did.
Bring that up.
So this is actually quite big. So, and we should also mention here that there are, and we skipped on our last stream, but there was a bunch of specific bosses and specific trash that was nerfed as well.
Yeah, there's loads of that stuff.
And then if we look at the Affix nerfs, well, there's been nerfs. So bolstering now increases max health by 15%, it was 20, and damage done by 20% per stack. So bit of a nerf to bolstering. Necrotic. Level 61 enemies now apply necrotic wound on every other auto attack. And it was every auto attack. And the thing people need to know is that those level 61 mobs are the ones you couldn't CC lock, I believe. What did I read that? Yes, no, that was in was it the Clivax? That's the one that applies to those elite mobs.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
Clivax's
well, 61 enemies. Not most enemies in dungeons.
Was it? Hang on. I don't want to do a big embarrass, but no, I remember it was the.
I don't look at this shit anymore. I basically just play the game. Like
it was Clivax's response to Clivax.
The community poster.
Yeah.
Clivax, yeah.
Oh, Clivax, yeah.
Yeah, Clivax, yeah.
Actually, let me find that because I don't want to get this wrong.
Yeah. No,
getting things wrong is surprisingly easy when you're on air.
Yeah. Well, necrotic wound's an interesting one because I have very little experience with necrotic recently because I've not been doing a bunch of M+, except I tried to join an M+ group on my monk as a healer, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is fine. I've got my legendary. I can go and fist weave. This will be fun. Hopped into a necrotic wake, which is a very fitting dungeon for it being necrotic wake, and this is how it went down. I joined the group, spent a couple minutes getting to the necrotic wake, went in, we're like, happy days, sweet, okay, ate some food, flask up. I can't remember what difficulty it was. It wasn't particularly hard, but it was high enough that necrotic was active. Tank runs, pulls stuff, builds up to 40 necrotic stacks, doesn't move. I can't heal him because he's literally unable to be healed.
Yes.
And then dies. And then does the exact same thing again. And I'm in the middle of typing, do you know how necrotic works? It makes me unable to heal you. If you keep getting auto-attacked, you need to kite. I was in the middle of typing that. He left, and then 2 DPS left.
Yeah.
I was like, sweet. All right, well, that's that.
Yeah, one of those things where you've got a mechanic that is, all just aura tracking and is not like an immediate visual one. No, the Clivax line that I was thinking about when I said that was this. In this case, Lieutenant brackets level 61. Enemies that are generally immune to crowd control are keeping their new every other swing behavior. And then he said that the intent of the previous necrotic change was the one that got people really hyped, that it was to nerf necrotic, but that nerf was too hard, so I guess this is what we've got.
Yep.
So there you go. Necrotic also nerfed. Raging. The Enrage increases damage done by 75%. It was 100. And for Storming, well, the whirlwinds dissipate once hit. They now always move clockwise. Their movement speed is reduced by 30%. And I've just noticed, because this is a copy from the patch notes, their behavior of despawning on collision with a player, is that still going to be in?
Well, yeah.
I'm really stupid. I literally just read that out with my voice.
Yeah, you literally read that out. That's what that means.
People have seen Anchorman, haven't they? Everyone's seen Anchorman. You know the bit when you're reading? When Ron Burgundy's reading?
The teleprompter, yeah.
And he has no idea what's on the teleprompter. It's all just... Sometimes that can happen. No, what actually happened is I remembered there being 3 bullet points.
Oh.
But here, we covered 2 of the bullet points in one bullet point. Therefore, I got confused. I'm very stupid. This is literally it being a difference between this research note and the fucking one that I did for WoW News because I'm fucking stupid. But there you go. Basically, right. Storming, which the melee people got, don't like. Which actually may have impacted me because a few people have convinced me to go SV Hunter.
Yes, because it's the best. It's simming significantly higher than the other two at the minute, according to one specific player's sims, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it literally pumps harder than the other two.
Oh.
I think that includes a legendary bow, maybe. So, yeah, as in survival, just more damage.
All right, well, I guess we'll be doing some survival. So, hey, storming, I don't have to deal with that, which is, I mean, I will, but...
Yeah, you will if you're surf.
That's grand. I'll only hit it... No, I'll hit it, then I won't have to deal with it again. So all I'll say is, hey, healers, I'm going to despawn all of our storming spawns. Yep. And then I'll run into all of them, and then they'll be gone. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'll be incredible. Oh, actually, you know what? That works well. I can just bop you. I can just bop you until you do it. Easy. You know, that's pretty big, actually.
Actually, that is interesting. Yeah, it's just like our highly successful Zymox strategy, where somehow in Heroic Zymox, we would always, like, just... What would happen is some whoopsie would happen on a trap, and then we'd all just be roaring, just friggin' pissing blood, laughing. And then the traps would all get completely out of hand, and we would basically be laughing so hard on Discord that we'd forget how to play WoW, and we'd have these disastrous Zymox runs.
We're very,
which is
very
funny, because Zymox is one of the guild's favorite fights, design-wise.
I would, well, I mean, that's the thing. I would rather have dumb shit happen, and well, not when we're doing progression, but especially after that, or for re-clearing bosses. I would rather have a wipe where dumb shit happens than a completely clean kill where no one speaks.
Yeah. Oh, totally, yeah.
9 times out of 10. Like,
so there you go with M+. Basically, right, there's these Affix nerfs, which I think is good. There is then a bunch of dungeon-specific boss and trash nerfs, which I think people are generally quite happy with.
Huge amounts of them.
And it's interesting, it's really been nerfs, not buffs, overall.
Yep.
And I think that just says that Blizzard maybe... I have to wonder, you know... Oh, was it Preach? Was it Preach who worked with Raider.io? Yes, it was, Mike. Was it?
What are we talking about?
Oh, they got the stats of the Mythic Plus participation rate drop-off. And for Shadowlands, even though Shadowlands was a massively banging expansion in terms of its initial performance, it, like, M+ just kind of went, Heom. So I wonder if this is them just sort of thinking, right, maybe we tune that to be too punishing. Maybe this is a wee bit too much for the community. Not what they want, so maybe we'll nerf them down a bit. Or maybe this is just getting rid of specific pain points. I mean, either way, I generally support them doing what they think's right for the game, and if that's right, then absolutely. I've got no right to talk about Mythic Plus.
Yeah, I think
maybe I will in this patch.
Most of it is pain points. Most of it's pain points, and a lot of it is readjusting for Prideful being gone. So obviously Prideful gave you that huge, massive buff that you could use with correct pathing. So a lot of like the very big health nerfs, and some of the removal of damage from bosses in particular are down to Prideful, because without Prideful, high keys basically aren't killable if you mess up your Prideful, which is one of the bigger problems. Because
it's the sort of thing where it's like, I know that, like, factually and logically, I just can't feel it because I've never interacted with the Prideful affix at all. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Me thinking about Mythic Plus is a bit of a funny proposition until I actually sort of
I mean, I think if you play Mythic Plus at all for in Legion or BFA, you can kind of imagine. I mean, it's damage numbers go down, health has to go down to match, or otherwise people are getting stuck at like 17, 18. They're like,
though we are getting our the tormented.
Yeah, but that doesn't give any. It gives powers, but it's less a huge timed buff that you can like capitalize on with Hero or Bloodlust, because obviously that's a big thing where if you can time a buff and you can lust it at the same time, damage.
Which means one mistake in your whole runs.
Yeah, damage go burst. Yep.
That maybe created this very like super binary feeling win loss state that I guess maybe caused some bounce off from people.
Well, I mean,
especially like, the tyrannical weeks and stuff.
Yeah, with tyrannical weeks where a key is literally impossible if you miss pull and your prideful timing's wrong. There you go. I mean, to be fair, that's very high keys. But
yes, that is higher than I will ever see. But I get that it's an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just the idea of like it's scuffed like.
Yeah.